we gotta make a change. It's time for us as people to start making some changes. Let's change the way we eat. Let's change the way we live, and let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we got to do to survive. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Thought Process. You just heard it from our one of our most famous philosophers, Tupac Shakur. This quote that we started this episode on is from a song called "Changes," and he goes into a lot of different things: injustice, how the system is corrupt, but more importantly, he promotes change, and that's exactly what this episode's about. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, Greg? How's it going?
I'm doing well.
So, speaking of changes, what changes have happened to you this year? 2020 has been a year of many changes for most of us.
Yeah.
We've had, actually something that just came up about, a couple of weeks ago was the fact that more people, especially in corporate offices, are now working remotely. There's no reason to be in an office. I was talking about this with Chris Ayala, who's been a guest in the podcast, and I know he's a big fan. So shout out to Chris.
Where we were talking about him becoming a father, and so we got to have him back on because it's been almost close enough to almost a year.
Yeah, and it's funny because to tie that in to this episode, I've seen how different he is as a dad than when I knew him just as a single guy. Like, it's the change that he's been through it's really, really cool to see someone transform in that way. I mean, he's always been a good guy, but in terms of like the priorities, and I'm sure you've been through this, the priorities from your everyday life, it's not so much just wake up and do this, what you're going to do right now. It's wake up and basically you need to look at what's going on first. You have to think about somebody else first now. And that wasn't the case maybe 5 years ago.
I mean, for me, it was a little bit easier. I would wake up. I would look around. I'd lay back down. Day's done. Well, no, because I've always been interested in computers, not in a sense of like learning all about computers, but using it in an entertainment aspect, I guess. And I didn't really do much outside of that. So I didn't do too much since, like, from high school on. I haven't really done, like, I haven't really had like I need to plan out all this stuff. It was more like just let it go as it went. So I didn't have to do too much, but when it came to sleeping, that's what changed a lot. I had to make sure to plan my sleeping around my son sleeping. Like, there was no more like go to sleep when you want. It's if you choose to not go to sleep when he goes to sleep, then you're choosing to not go to sleep as long as you want to. Because when he wakes up, your sleeping's done. And it was like that way for a long time. And then there was a long period of time where he would sleep for 12 hours. And I was like, all right, cool. I got like 2-3 hours. I can stay awake past when he goes to sleep and I still get enough. But now, he comes in and he's just like, you're sleeping? Wake up. And I'm like, damn it. Go back to bed.
Damn. And I mean, yeah, that's a big change, but it's something that you can get used to.
Yeah.
Right? As especially as he grows older, it becomes easier. Like, he'll want to get more sleep. Because I know babies, generally speaking, they don't get that much sleep. I know they sleep a lot, like during the day. They nap a lot.
Yeah.
But they don't get like straight sleep all through the night. But yeah, dude, it's been really cool. Like, just this whole week, I've just been thinking about many different things. One was, changes, and then how I've changed this year. This year for me has been both good and bad, and I'm sure it's been the same thing for most people. But for me, it's been a year where I lost something, but I gained something bigger, and then at the same time, I lost more. Like, okay, so something that I heard recently from my doctor was, everything comes with a price, and everything worth doing comes with big sacrifice. It's not easy. So the project that I'm working on is taking all of my mental power. Like all my mental juice is gone. We're designing, creating something from scratch has been really challenging for me. And I enjoy it, but even here, like the podcast, I love just coming on here and just talking, rambling and stuff. But it takes time. Like sometimes we have to do research and or we get into something and you shoot me something. You're like, hey, like check this out, and we just go into this rabbit hole and we just research and research and research, or just different things take up a lot of my mental energy.
Yeah.
And so I gained something, like I gained a purpose, like I gained something, but at the same time, I've lost for me right now, it's been my physical fitness. Like it just went, I hit a wall, right when this thing happened and, we moved out of the office. Like I said, a lot of people during this time, they've been going remotely. There's no reason to go to the office anymore.
Yeah.
People can work as efficiently, if not more efficiently, from home. So why go to the office? Why waste 2 hours of your time driving in traffic? So that's something I gained. That's been a good change. Like not having to worry about traffic on certain days. I love it. But on the other hand, I'm a type of guy that likes to be out. So because I have so much work and I have to stay here at the office or my office here, I have not been seeing the sun as much. And I've noticed just over the past couple of weeks how much it's taken a toll. And something that we hear a lot of people say is like, oh, well, you have to stay indoors, you have to protect other people, but we're not getting the, like being enclosed indoors is not healthy for people. And we hear it from a lot of people, like nutritionists. Like I hear it on Joe Rogan talks about this all the time. How like people, especially like government and the government officials, they don't promote being healthy or exercise. They promote the lockdown, which is what we're starting again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, even if, to be fair, what you said, it's not completely correct about the government not promoting like exercise, because for a while there was all about exercise and vegetables. That's why like Michelle Obama changed Cookie Monster to Vegetable Monster and stuff like that. So like they just promote it in a poor fashion. Like getting rid of the Cookie Monster doesn't make kids want to eat vegetables now. Like,
do you think that it's because of, is it like promotion? Like it doesn't get as much clicks if you talk about eating healthy? Like people want to hear about other things, or?
Well, you always want to hear about the good and not the bad, unless when bad comes up, it's easier to talk about bad than good. So it's one of those.
That's what I'm saying. Is it easier or is it better for? I mean, okay, we all know that if you're healthy during flu season, your regular flu season, you're less likely to get sick because your body has more. I don't know, like more. You're more nourished. People who tend to work out more tend to eat healthier too. Not always the case, but your defenses are higher than someone who's sedentary, right? So why are we promoting, like, like all these people say, like, why aren't we promoting exercise? Like, why is it all about being locked down? Is it because, if people go out, they get sick, and even if they're exercising, they're not being precautious? Do you think that it's going to be on them, and that's why they don't want to say that? Like,
Yeah, because you can't say, hey, go outside and exercise, but stay in your house. You can't, even though they're already doing it, you can't contradict what you're saying.
because it's it becomes a
Yeah.
narrative, right?
Yeah, so it's like, why should Starbucks be able to be open and not a restaurant? Why should a car shop be able to be open, but not and a bar? I mean, people are going to be walking into the car shop, talking back and forth. The workers are going to be next to each other. They're going to be getting in this person's car. Like, it's too much contradictory, and it doesn't make sense. And I understand it's hard to try to work with it, and hard to just say go and do your own thing, because it's like when it comes down to people dying, you can't just be like whatever about it. But at the same time, there's a lot of things you can't completely control.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to at some point just do something and just kind of hope for the best. And that's kind of where I can understand it and not understand it at the same time.
Yeah, well, speaking of being healthier, just a few days ago, we just started waking up in the morning and say, you know what, I have to get out.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to go for a walk, or go for. I've been going to 1,000 steps, so
Okay.
I've just been going up and down stairs like 1,000 steps, and it's been good. I've been feeling sore. I think I'm finally starting to. Yeah, tomorrow will be like the third day, so I hope that by the end of the month, I'll have had picked up enough rhythm to get back into it, so that I can make it a non-negotiable part of my day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like most of us have non-negotiable part of our days, right? Like there's things that you need to do, and you can't deviate from it. Like if you do, it's gonna cost you in one way or another. Let's say if you don't, make food that day, now you're gonna have to go spend money, so it's gonna cost you. For me, it's been like recently, my sleep has improved. Black Friday, the only thing I spent on was a mattress. Like I researched enough to ensure that I was actually going to get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of paying like for $1,500 for like a really good mattress that's going to last a long time, I paid maybe like $1,100. So it was not a big discount, but it was good. And you know what, dude? I've been sleeping good every night. I've actually been entering REM sleep every night.
So you have it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've been having dreams for like the past 7 days. Nonstop. Every night it's been a dream. It's been really weird, bro.
Now the question is, are they good dreams, just whatever dreams, or bad dreams?
Dude, I've had a mix of things, okay? One, I was like surviving the Titanic.
So a bad dream, you were on the door and you were kicking Jack down into the ocean.
No, dude. No, dude. I was like, I was one of the first rafts. Like I saw the Titanic kind of like what I can remember, because
Hey, women and children first, dude. Why were you on one of the rafts?
I don't know. Sorry. Maybe I was the one, steering the raft for them. I don't know. I don't remember, but I don't even remember seeing people. I just saw the Titanic sinking.
Yeah.
Then there was one where I was paragliding, and dude, they've been so weird. I can't even name all of them. Like I can't remember everything. There has been some that's just been questionable, and something also that I was talking to my doctor about was the fact that dreams actually do mean something. like it's your subconscious. I don't know. This is kind of like what I believe in now. When you dream, your subconscious is processing all the like bullshit that your consciousness doesn't pick up during
Okay.
the day. So it's processing it at night. And so it's like a dream is like, from what I understand and what I believe in now, I guess, is you are making sense of all the subconscious things that happened that you weren't aware of during the day. So, for instance, I had this weird dream. Okay, um, okay, I was a guest with at the Joe Rogan Experience. I was a guest with him, but I wasn't the main person talking. Like, it was a friend of mine, and he stopped talking because he wanted to get a drink. So I was like, "Oh, I'll take the conversation and I'll steer it in another direction, so that we don't have any dead air."
Okay.
And I was saying something along the lines of, people do not understand how we do not have self-control, or how little we know about self-control. And Joe, as he's like talking to us, he's like, he kind of gives me like the look of approval, but like, slow down, buddy, because you're not like, we're not going down that rabbit hole right now. And I woke up, and the first thing on my mind was self-control, and about how little I've had self-control. And I woke up thinking about that, and the whole day just followed me the whole day. I just could not believe that I had that dream. And so something like what was it like? I think it was during like Black Friday, and about how seeing other people just dude, I saw a lot of people spend a lot of money, which is okay. I don't know. I'm not gonna judge or say anything about it. I don't believe in that, although I guess I did spend money, but I don't know. I saw a lot of people buying things that I knew they were not a very good deal, and also wasn't like a necessity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were thinking about what's going on, and to see people being out there buying things that don't seem to be necessities to you, I guess.
To me, right? Because that's
Seems
a
a
personal
little
view.
bit kind of weird and ridiculous right now.
That exactly during
Like-
COVID,
Like, why are people going out there and buying these brand new $6,000 70-inch TVs when Joe Slow-Mo down the street can't even get 20 hours of work?
exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, dude. I mean, I actually had planned. Like, we've actually planned for the entire year, that this Christmas, our gift was gonna be a bed. And the best time to buy it was during Black Friday. So that was, we planned that. But I think like somebody in my family bought like a 75-inch TV, dude. It's like almost the size of this wall.
And it's also semi-understandable at the same time, because now what do we have to do? We sit there and we watch Big Brother.
Dude. But but that's the point. Like, is that going to be life from now on? Like, now, because you bought the 75-inch TV, and next year when things open up, what are you still going to be doing? Watching the TV? Like, do you see what I mean?
No, I think things can go back to normal the moment we don't have to sit there and listen to the negativity side of the virus. Like, let's go and let's say, like, the plague. We don't hear about the plague. Like, we hear about cancer a lot, right? We hear, race for cancer, all these like donate to cancer. You have the ribbon thing on people's cars, but like, when you see that, do you get a bad feeling? Like, oh, cancer.
Well,
I just get the sense of, they're saying the word cancer, and they're trying to raise money, but like, I don't think like death or like
Have you had any experiences with cancer?
No, but
Okay.
but what I'm saying is once the view of it to the everyday person is no longer like the fear of it and more or less just this exists.
Oh, it's like
is
you're
when
talking
we
about
can return to normal.
you're talking about desensitization. Like
I
you're
guess.
desensitized.
Yeah,
You know,
what,
like
what
we've heard it so much, it's almost lost its meaning. Almost.
kind of, yeah.
I mean, not to say that about cancer because I've had personal experience with cancer.
Well, no, what I'm
But-
saying is when you see a commercial on the TV, like the dog commercials, in the arms of an angel, like when you see that commercial where the dog, you can see its bones hanging out, like you know what, the dog rescue. You've never seen that commercial where they show like the dogs in
Oh.
cages and dogs
Oh
who look
yeah,
like they have
yeah,
meat
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You almost
That's
know
like
that's not.
That's like midnight TV, dude.
No, I know, but that stuff's going on all the
I know,
time.
I
But
know.
like when you see that, you're just kind of like, I can't really. If I decide to do this, then I'm not able to do this and this and this and that and take care of this person and do like. There's only so much you can do for so long that I feel like once it becomes kind of like not the biggest issue, it's just gonna be swept out of the table and move on to the next.
Well, something to note about human nature is that we forget like this.
Yeah.
We forget, dude. I'm telling you, 2022, 2020, we're going to be looking back on 2020 as like a dream, like a nightmare that you could barely remember. And then it's going to happen again.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Y2K.
It's
I was
it's
more
been-
scared of Y2K than I was for this.
I know. I still don't know how, but
Dude, I was scared that the power was gonna go out and we would no longer be able to turn a light switch on at night.
now that you say that, I think now I understand why I wasn't scared. Because in Mexico, we didn't have this, dude. In Mexico, you know, our time with electricity was basically timed.
Yeah.
Like in the outside, if you weren't sitting on your porch, there's no light. So if you're wandering around, if you're lucky, there's a full moon and you can see like 100 yards.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there was nothing. And to come from that to this, and like if this went out, I would be okay. Like I'd be fine for. I mean, obviously,
I mean, now I wouldn't care, but
I would want it to change.
as a kid, I was just like, oh my gosh, no more Pokemon. No more. My mom's going to be calling me in to the house at like 4:00 in the afternoon before it gets dark. And I thought, because they also talked about they didn't know how like trade would work. Like they thought that like
everything was
no
gonna
one would
stop.
know how to travel from here to there or when they're supposed to. Planes would crash into each other. And like it just sounded like things would kind of stop working and everyone just needs to try to figure it out on their own for so long. And we're not in a position to do that. Like during this, if they stop bringing food, like,
dude,
it would have been
imagine
so much worse than it was in
imagine the
stores.
chaos
Yeah,
that we would be in.
yeah.
The chaos. Oh
Like
man.
people were freaking out about the toilet paper, and I legitimately was just like, I have a rag, I have a sink.
And you have a shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I know.
I was just
wasn't
like, what?
I was not even remotely like phased about the toilet paper. Luckily, we used to shop at Costco. So by that time, I knew way before a lot of people that they were going to bring in pallets.
Uh-huh.
So we grabbed a couple, and that was enough for like a month, 2 months. You know, so it wasn't maybe even 3 months. It wasn't even bad, dude, for me. But to go back on the whole how things have changed for this year, we're back to the TV entertainment. The way I look at entertainment now, I've really shifted my perspective on it. Like before, it was like, oh, let's get through the series. You know, I mean, we only have every night we can watch an episode, or every Friday we do a little binge, or maybe on the weekend where we're off. Nowadays, that's not the case.
Yeah.
You know, and before you mentioned Pokemon when we were young, it was just Saturday mornings. You know, the cartoons would start at 7 a.m. and they would end by like 10, and then that was it. And then you would have to wait the whole week so that you can, get to the next episode.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we live in a world where you have infinity amount of movies to watch at your fingertips. We have taken out the like the I don't know, like the dose monitor out of the picture.
Yeah, because like we used to, like, an example in high school, Friday night was movie night. New movie coming out Friday night. Invite all your friends. Go see the movie.
Yeah, I remember.
If it wasn't that, it was because there was a football game or there was just no new movie coming out. So now you have these shows that are almost movie like 1 hour episodes of these shows that are like 30 minutes less than a movie.
Right.
Sometimes an hour less than a movie, but there's multiple episodes. But now you're getting consistent ones every day, every few days, every couple weeks. And you don't have to have the patience of waiting till that Friday when it comes out.
Dude, they'll drop a whole season now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go through a whole season during a weekend. Like a holiday weekend. Like that's a lot.
Last 2 days I watched the whole season of The Witcher.
It's out, the first one or the second?
The first season.
Oh, that dude. Okay. So
dude, that song is so good.
So I'm the same. And okay, first of all, let me make this let me get this straight. I'm this way, right? With entertainment. Okay. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that about myself. Like right now, the thing we're watching is The Queen's Gambit. It's a good series. I'm not gonna spoil it for people. I would say it's worth it. I mean, okay, I like psychological and like twists and turns kind of things. So this one's about chess.
Yeah.
So I like it. And then it has a lot of psychological aspects to it, like different things. I'm not going to get into it. But it's 6 episodes. They're all an hour each, And so I understand. And this is what I'm saying. I am this person who gets hooked on something and it's like, oh shit, dude, I lost track of time. Now what? And then on to the next one. And then what's next? And then, every Friday or something, Netflix drops something new and then it's trending on social media. And then everybody's recommending it to you. So like, that is the world we live in now.
Well, see, that's me. But I have 2 more aspects on top of that. And that's why I don't leave my house, and I've enjoyed it for so long. I have 2 screens on my computer. I have a comfy chair. And all I have to do is sit there. I have a 42-inch screen, so I break it into 2 screens, essentially. I have a movie going. I have a thing called Discord, which is a way to communicate with people. So I'm talking to different people and I'm playing a game. So I'm getting excitement, and conversation. And then whenever I have some question, I bring up Google and ask it and learn something. And it's like, why would I go out and go for a walk and look at sticks on the floor and pine cones falling from the tree when I could just sit at home and Google a picture of a stick or a pine cone? Like, we almost feel like there's no reason of going outside, because what are we going to learn by going outside? We have to learn the whole processes of everything. Where online, we don't have to. We just ask it and it tells us.
You just said it. You have to learn the whole processes of everything. And me going on these walks have made me realize that I need to get back in touch with my primal self. Dude, the technology that we're using nowadays, it's way too advanced for our brain.
Yeah.
It's way too advanced for our brain. It's like light years ahead. Okay, I know our brain is the most powerful tool known to man, right? That's a fact.
Okay.
However, we don't understand our brain. We know 10% to 15% of our brain's capabilities. the average Joe, like you and me, probably use it 8-10%. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's like yes, I like to think and ponder on things and
I'll put it this way: I use 2%, this screen and that screen, 3% because I have to have a normal brain to be able to say, "Hey, look at this screen, look at that screen."
to change to change when you need to know when to change the channel and shit.
Yeah, or when I turn it off, I still need 1% to go get me water.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm telling you, this technology is so advanced. The it's a really tough conversation because I understand that it's a company and a company needs to do whatever it needs to do to grow and to innovate and I know Netflix has brought a lot of jobs and it's going to continue to do so. It's going to be many more jobs to come and a lot of people are going to be wealthy from it and I'm sure they treat their employees well and everything. But the fact that people aren't talking about this kind of scares me. Like, I know we talked about the social dilemma, right? That's one aspect of this. But the fact that most people, all we do is talk about memes on Instagram, like that makes me wonder, like, how are my, like, I don't know. I know I'm not even like a father yet, but how are my kids going to be when this shit actually, like, when they're born into it? Because you and I, we weren't born into this. Like,
To the meme world?
No, like, well, yeah, no,
really,
no, we
no.
weren't born to the meme world, but we were just developing.
We created memes, but we didn't know they were memes.
Right.
Someone took what we started and turned it into memes.
Right.
So like it's the same way we used to talk like doing like the AFK and the be right back, and then that got taken into emojis. Emojis became the description for the word we created.
Mm-hmm.
And so on and so forth. It's almost like it is almost like we're devolving. Like think about back in the day, they weren't writing words, they were drawing pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what emojis are pictures. So and now we're using memes.
Dude,
and like we don't communicate the same way. Like people don't use cursive anymore. I knew it as a kid. I called it. I was like, this ain't gonna last. This ain't gonna last. That's the one thing I was right about in school. The one thing. I told my teacher, this is stupid. I shouldn't have to do this. I'll never use this in life.
You're like typing, like laughing, ROFL.
Yeah, like, it's like online government official documents. They're like digital signature, and you go to try to do it, and it just doesn't even work. So you can't even do a signature anyways. So the one time you need it, you can't even do it.
Only doctors use. They
don't even use proper cursive
it's like
most of
weird.
the time. Yeah, it's a signature, which is just a design way of writing your name. Half the time, it's initials.
Yeah. Well, back to the point of the. How this is devolving people.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, actually, before we move on from that, I'm always saying this, dude. Emojis are the new hieroglyphs.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking right now. And at the same time, though, is it devolving or is it an easier way of getting your point across with a visual effect? So would it be harder to read the words "be right back" or receive a picture of a I don't know, what's an emoji that means be right back? Like, let's just say there's a keyboard with an arrow pointing the other way or something. Mm-hmm. Well, which one's easier? I mean, they're not necessarily, one's not easier than the other. So, but what would be quicker, say, with the technology? Hitting that one button or typing the whole word in?
The visual, because the data transfer is much faster than the processing power that it takes. Well,
and I think you get more out of it too. Like the picture is a little bit more like thought provoking than a word almost. Like you'll see it and you could get a laugh out of it maybe, where if you just read a word you may not get the laugh or something, or like other emotions are within the emoji or inside of a hieroglyph. What's the word?
Hieroglyph?
Hieroglyph.
What?
Like looking at hieroglyphs, you can sit there all day and look and be like, "Oh, this is cool." But if that hieroglyph was written as just like normal
as text,
we would be over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wouldn't think anything about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if is it a case of evolving? I mean, okay, we're always evolving, right?
Yeah.
And so part of this episode is about changes, and evolving is part of that change. You know, how we evolve with different things or how we change different things. Like for number one, like I told you, I was talking about how I lost my physical ability. You know, like um, I lost my muscle mass that I had. I gained some weight. I wake up and not anymore, not with this bed, but I used to wake up like 2 months ago. And I'm like, oh man, my knees a little stiff, or like my shoulders like a little weird. I know I'm getting older, right?
Wait till you have a kid. That's gonna be every night.
Dude, when you just knees you in the back, you're like, oh man, that wasn't there this yesterday.
Dude, I build a wall every night so I can get some sleep.
With the like pillows,
blankets, pillows. I don't even get my own pillow now. I sleep on an Elmo pillow. I go to lay down and he's like, no, that's my pillow. He grabs mine. It's just a gray pillowcase. So I'm like, all right, take it. And then I ask him, I go, hey, why do I have an Elmo pillow, but you have an Elmo blanket? He goes, no, I don't know.
So what you got to do that reverse psychology right there, man. Just get the Elmo one. He'll be like, no, wait, that's mine. You get yours.
He just wants it because it's mine.
I know.
That's what it is. Like, this one's the better one.
Yeah.
Which is funny because now wouldn't you also think, like, since I'm not fighting you and I'm using your pillow, I now think your pillow is better. So wouldn't you also want that one? Because you don't see it that way. Like that pillow.
No, he's just trying
still the one
He's just trying
chose.
to be a big kid.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to take on like, I want to do that. I want to be like him. I think that's part of that. But what was I saying about? Oh, so not working out has changed me. I don't know, man. It sucks because I feel like I lost a flare. Like I lost that flare that you have, like that the energy that you carry, So I'm trying to rebuild that. And it's more about feeling better, So something I noticed while I was doing the stairs for an hour, dude. Right now I like tomorrow I ain't gonna walk. Like I know I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to go, even if it's a brisk walk. Like it's non-negotiable for me now. Why? Because when I was really dedicated to working out, we always talk about this. It's not easy. It's not easy. It doesn't get easier. It gets harder and harder because you're always pushing your body more and more and more. And even though you're more, quote unquote fit, it still hurts. Like, doing deadlifts and doing like all sorts of squats and working all especially the legs for men. That's the ultimate. That's like the one that you're the next day, if you do it right, it feels like you were hit by a train.
Yeah.
Right? So it never gets easier. You look better. You may perform better than other people, but you still have the same pain as as a person who's just starting today.
Yeah.
So it's like, we need to I need to recreate the callus that I had. And I now understand that your body will adapt. So I don't know, for this whole year, again, I was very I didn't really do much. We didn't even go on hikes. Like I didn't really do much. Like I was running a little bit before my nose surgery, and I was training for this marathon that I have never even done yet. But overall, it was very not very physical, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, dude. It became really easy, and I now see the side effects of that. Of I don't know, especially like mentally, I guess. I remember that I used to be like even sharper back then. I was on my game. Like nowadays, it's like a mental fog, and so I have to change that. I have to change. And dude, I was because I asked my doctor that. I said, "Hey, this is what's going on. How if you fell off the horse, how do you get back? How do you strengthen yourself to go back to being this fucking like athlete?" And it's just discipline. Discipline is the carrier of strength. If you take a look at how warriors used to be back in the day, they were just warriors. Like yes, they were, maybe they were fathers, they were this, they were that, friends, but they were warriors. And that's all they focused on. If you were like an archer, that you were an archer. And what does it take to be a good archer? Discipline. How many times do you have to shoot an arrow to hit the mark every time?
Yeah.
Thousands of times. So in the same way, because okay, let me put a bookmark there. I've noticed that when I go on Instagram, I see this little snippet of somebody else's life, and it's always like, oh man, oh maybe maybe this video will teach him what I need to know. Maybe that video, or maybe this picture is gonna motivate me today. Maybe the next video that they post will motivate me to go work out. It's never the case. It's always wishful thinking. It's always like, get stuck there. You follow these people because they quote unquote motivate you, but you still don't get to work. Like I caught myself doing that. Like I've been on like, who's a good one? Oh, Kai Green. I've been following Kai Green for like 10 years, right? Dude, the guy he's always working out. Like if you want to get to that level, you always have to work out. No days off. That's what it takes. I enjoy seeing him working out almost. Like I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. And that's it. I'm never like, oh shit, he's working out. I better get to work because if I want to look like that, I need to go work out. It's always like a wishful thinking. And it's like, I think social media does a good job by doing that. It's like, it doesn't get the whole message across. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you see them doing something, but it doesn't get the whole message across. You don't see them what time they need to wake up to meal prep. How much energy it takes to, figuring out how much you need to eat so that you can look a certain way.
Yeah, you don't see any obstacle from top to bottom. It's just like I'll put it in some sense. If you look on Instagram and you look at these people who I don't know, a lot of these high fitness people, they'll show you their kitchen, how they meal prep and all of that. And I could be wrong here, but I can almost guarantee you they probably have some kind of kitchen maid to clean up after them, so they don't have to worry about that, and they can go to their work, they can do their job. If you're working 60 hours a week and you're trying to become some bodybuilder, when are you going to do the dishes and have your house that clean? You don't have time to clean your house. And that's the thing. Everyone tries to fit in all these things, and it's just like the everyday person doesn't have time for that. So you have to see, like, you're not going to get to the same level. Like if you want to be on the same level of fitness and work and all of that and keep your house clean, you're probably going to do a bad job at one of the three of those things. Which one are you going to sacrifice?
Yeah, or like you said, you have to get somebody to come clean the house,
Yeah.
and you have to pay a little extra out
Some
of
people,
pocket.
and that's the thing. Some people don't have that opportunity to be able to do that. So then they're just like, "Oh, this doesn't work," and it's like, "Yeah, it doesn't work because you didn't put the right pieces together."
Yeah. Also, it takes a lot of time, dude. If you want to look like one of those Instagram models, that has to be your life. It's
Yeah.
your lifestyle. You have to wake up. You have to do cardio in the morning. You have to measure all your meals, and then work out in the evening, and then get enough sleep and rest, and no consumption of substances, like no alcohol, no none of that. Like that's what it takes. And the the messages that they always promote are like, well, my 6 week, ab challenge is gonna give you abs. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's not right. Like
Yeah.
you know that's not true, and I know why you're doing that. Because I've gone through that. For the people that don't believe me, and maybe I'll post a picture of before and now my transformation for 2020. Maybe we should start that. Like a hashtag transformation 2020.
Transformation
Go from
till before the 4th.
What do you mean before the? Oh yeah. So maybe we can do that. For all the thought process followers, maybe if you guys would join us to post a picture with the hashtag transformation 2020, and you post a picture of your before and your now, and see what the difference is, and maybe it'll kickstart something up. Like maybe it'll give you that little push that you really need, so that 2021 can be much better. Because Greg and I, we already agreed, like come July 4th 2021, we're gonna be in banana hammocks. we're gonna do what is it called?
A strut.
Not a barbecue. Maybe we'll do a barbecue, and we're just gonna do. Maybe we'll post some
I don't
pictures.
think anyone's gonna want to come if we're like that.
Look, it's just something funny. I think people will get a kick out of it, but also I think hopefully it'll motivate the right person. And I don't know. Maybe Gilbert and Robert will join us. I don't know. And then it's gonna be a real sausage party there. No, but in all seriousness, I think I'm thinking of doing that. Maybe we should do that, man. I think it'll look. This podcast is about provoking thought, and we just established that the other day. Why not provoke people to think about what they're doing? Like, because I'm doing this for me, at the end of the day, like I'm thinking about these things, and I'm putting them out here. I'm just kind of, I don't know, think of this like shower thoughts almost. Like this is kind of like what I'm thinking, and what's a better way to make a record than put it on here. And so I can go back and see like, oh, hey, that's when I changed. Oh, I remember the way I was thinking back then. Oh shit, look where I'm at now. And it's, maybe this will become a bookmark or like a little chapter. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think about all this shit that I'm saying? Because I've been ranting for a while.
Well, I mean, we're just talking about what I don't know. We've always talked about this, and we took growth 1 year in our lives. Actually, I think it was 2 years, pretty serious, and I think it definitely guided us in a good direction. I was 230 pounds. I can't remember what year it was, and I was like, I prepared myself for, I think it was like 2 months. I was like, I'm doing a juice cleanse at the start of the year. I'm only gonna eat good food, and I'm gonna start going to the gym. I didn't say how many days. I said every day, but I that's not realistic. But I was telling everyone, and I was on it, and I started to to shift my eating to just eating less food in general, not necessarily eating good food, just to get my stomach shrink down because I ate so goddamn much. And then I was just telling everyone, and then come January 1st, I did it. And 3 days later, I was done with it. Actually, I did it for 5 days, I believe. So 5 days later, I was done with the juice. I was doing the gym. I was in the backyard. I was just, actually, I didn't go to a gym. I was doing this all at my house. And then I started thinking, I'll go to the gym. So I went to the gym, and then I was like, I'll get a mountain bike. And so I got almost all my friends to start going to the gym. That's when we went to the big one in Irvine.
Mm-hmm.
I even paid for 2 of the memberships because I was like, I want to get into this. This gives us something to do, and we don't spend our money somewhere else. So he started doing that, and then we got the mountain bike.
It wasn't mine, was it?
Huh?
It wasn't mine, was it?
No.
Okay. I was like, oh shit, dude, I better pay you back. Cause
And then I got a mountain bike. You got a mountain bike. Your brothers got mountain bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And we started doing that. And I would mountain bike and go to the gym. And what I started noticing is I was like, okay, so I'm doing all this stuff. I took on more hours at work. So I was working Monday to Friday, opening, serving shifts. And then from there, I created a routine that was pretty much perfect. I didn't have to think about it. And I was able to have a fun time when it was time to have fun. And I was able to work when it was time to work. And I had everything I needed. My food was ready when I was going to go out biking and so on and so forth. And it kind of created a schedule of its own without having to think about it. And so you have to get into the groove of something, and I think it comes much more naturally when you don't have to think about it and you can just decide that something has to change and tweak to get to the goal. And I think a lot of time we kind of just want to jump the gun, and by jumping it, we don't put the pieces together before getting there.
Yeah, you're basically setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, it's like putting a puzzle together, right? So let's say you have a 600-piece puzzle. You're like, all right, I'm going to put this together. And you don't actually put it together. You paid some other person to put it together. And you come back and you put the last piece in. You don't know the whole process of any of that. And it's the same thing. It's like, I want to ride a 50-mile bike ride. Should I just get on my bike right now and go ride 50 miles? I'll probably fail, and if I fail, then I'll probably quit. So we're jumping too many pieces ahead, and I think that's why, like, I failed plenty of times this year, and I'm fatter than I've ever been, because I've plenty of times have tried to jump back to where I was at my best, and you can't do that. You gotta put these pieces together to have all those pieces aligned, so you don't have to think about any of it. You already have that experience. You know what you're doing, and you're pushing to the next thing. Right now, you're just trying to skip to the next thing, and you can't. Yeah,
you have to learn how to crawl before you can walk, and before you can run, and before you can fly. Right?
Yeah.
So it's I've now it's like, well, now with what I have now, it's like, oh. Like, I was doing good with my to-do lists, my daily tasks, and then it's like I was thinking about working out, and then it's like, oh crap, I forgot about my to-do list, and then same thing. It's like now maybe working out has to be on there.
Careful for the mouse.
What's up? Oh,
sorry, you were just hitting it. So
and like you said, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a better idea to start slowly. Like, okay, what's something that's gonna help me get healthier? Well, number one, it's what's the most important? Sleep. Okay, so I got a new bed, so I'm sleeping better. Okay, what's next? Okay, so when I wake up, because of allergies and because California is always on fire, I have to take allergy meds. Okay, so I wake up. I drink water with my meds. Okay. What next? Okay, well, I personally like to fast. You know, and fasting has always done wonders for me, man. I feel like I have more energy. I feel like I feel lighter. I'm not like bloated. What? Because once I eat breakfast, dude, I'm like oh man, like it's taking like away from my energy
Mm-hmm.
to process the food. So I usually wait until I can't bear it anymore, like maybe like noon or 1, and then once I eat, it's like I feel re-energized because I think this is something that we don't think about that we all have is we have like peaks and valleys during our day. Like there are times where you're going to have higher energy than other parts of your day.
Yeah.
For me, it's in the morning. I always, when I wake up, I'm like ready to go, like energized most of the time if I had a good night's sleep. Otherwise, it's if I didn't have good night's sleep, the morning is kind of sluggish, and then I can't sleep the next night. You know, it's kind of weird. So figuring out your rhythm, like what's my rhythm? So sleep. What do you need to do in the morning? What are things that are non-negotiable? For me now, it's being a little active, whether it's a stretch, maybe some yoga, or brisk walk, or I go do stairs. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go to the gym right now. You know, I'm not gonna go to the gym. They're probably gonna be closing soon again, so it's not worth getting a gym membership. But maybe I'll buy some kettlebells. Maybe I have a jump rope. Like it's been sitting there. I
So yeah. So going with that, one of the things that I had changed this week, I was doing 10 miles, 10 miles,
Every day.
5 times. No, it was 5 times a week, and then I started realizing I was doing it like every other day, and then I wanted to do something new, so I started to do like interval training. So I am doing 1 minute at max speed on my bike, and then I get off for 30 seconds and I do 25 kettlebell swings. And right after the 25 kettlebell swings, I do 5 shoulder presses on each arm. And then I wait 30 seconds and I get back on the bike and I go. And every day, like I started and I did 12 minutes of that. And then I've been doing 16 minutes of that. And I did it 3 times this week. I should be doing it after I get off. Get out of here. And it's been something different, and it's been nice. But it's also was challenging. So there was the first time I did it, it was like 12 minutes. And then when I went to do the 16 minutes, I was like, at the 12-minute mark, I was like, I can kind of just stop right now. And then I just kind of was like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to go as long as I can go for. And when I was just like, I'm just going to keep going, I kind of forgot the next 4 minutes. Like, I didn't even think I even did it. And so, at least for me, I feel like I need to stop thinking there's an end to anything I'm doing. I need to just do it until it's done.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of thinking about it. I see that most people think about doing it and they don't think about the end result. So they focus on the hard work first instead of like what comes later, because everybody says it all the time. Every time I work out, I feel better. That's always true. And I've known that. I've always known that.
Unless
I've known that for
hard enough.
I've even then, dude, I remember being at the office, okay? And having to go from one side of the office to the other, and it was painful. Just walking, like people will kind of look at you weird because you're like walking a little funny. It's like everything hurts. I mean, for the whole entire year, I was sore every day for the entire year. There was no point in time of that year that I was not sore. That's what I knew. And it kind of gave me an edge. It kind of gave me like I forget what we call it, but if you know, like coffee, like it gives you this type of edge.
Okay.
Maybe it's like your energy spikes, or you have like a little aura or something like that. I always thought had that. Maybe you become more confident. You walk around with like, what is it called?
Ego,
Yeah, ego.
the gorilla.
No, yes, but also what is that? The Latimus Dorsey syndrome.
Light syndrome.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I remember having that, and it was good because back then it was like really. It still wasn't mainstream. Like, I feel like working out became mainstream. Like, I don't know, like 2017. Like when everybody's on Instagram is like a fitness person. You know, when Gymshark started and like
Yeah.
all these things started, it was like 2016, 2017 maybe. And
Yeah, it was kind of around the age of YouTube coming to
yeah, workout
to power,
videos.
because that's where it started. It was a lot of people trying to show off what they can do,
Yeah,
and that's another subject I want to talk about is YouTube and the specialization of people who do YouTube compared to who we would consider professionals within those fields. So, like, let's say, like a real estate agent on YouTube, or like, let's say there's a real estate agent. They have a YouTube channel and they talk about real estate, and they become a big channel. They get close to 1 million views on their videos. They are realistically making more money on YouTube than they are being a real estate agent. So, what I would want to talk about is about how you can they're taking their experience of something and turning it into almost a different income experience.
Another income avenue.
Yes, but they're not even real estate agents anymore. Essentially, they do YouTube videos about real estate, but they're not even necessarily in the field anymore. They just had an expertise at a certain period of time.
Yeah,
it's so crazy to think about, because I just saw some stuff in different categories where it's the case where it's the professionals within these fields aren't the ones teaching people. It's the people who are just right below and are above the majority.
You mean skill. The YouTube people?
Yeah.
You also have to realize that putting yourself out there, man, you're subjecting yourself to a lot. So maybe a lot of those people aren't willing to risk that. They're not willing to risk the being wrong or being called out for something that you were wrong with. I'm sure one day when we have like more people, like more listeners, they're going to be calling us out. Like, hey, remember that one time you guys were talking about working out? You guys never did that? Yeah. Well, I don't want to. I want to make sure that we're not those people right now, dude. Because we're kind of saying it, right? And so if we say it, it's good for us because it kind of makes us accountable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh shit, like come July 4th, however we look. Like if you have a dad bod, now it's gonna be Greg with the dad bod in a yellow Speedo, like whatever, right? That's gonna be it. So I'm gonna hold you to that. But yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that maybe these people don't want to put themselves out there too much. Again, I'm kind of glad we don't have as many like listeners and followers because we're still learning how to do this. It's a skill. Like you need to learn how to speak. I didn't take public speaking. Did you?
No. I barely took English.
I don't have English is my second language, so I don't have it's not the best. Luckily, I don't think I have an accent, but I don't know. I don't know if I do or not.
No.
It's I repeat things too much. I'm sure, but I think a lot of people do that. What else? It takes a special person to put themselves out and be vulnerable. Like the fact that we've been doing it this long, it almost baffles me. I'm like, oh shit, dude, it's gonna be 2 years now, and yeah, luckily we're at like 50%. I mean, okay, first of all, this year. Well, you know what? We'll do that next episode because we're not gonna do the year in review or whatever, right? This episode, but we've been doing this. We've been putting ourselves out there. We've been putting out our ideas. I'm sure we've been wrong. I'm sure we've been had these conversations, back and forth conversations, quite a lot. But even if you notice in this podcast, it's evolved. It's changed. And now it's something that we do every week. Like, I know sometimes life gets in the way, but it's generally speaking, this always happens.
Yeah.
Once a week. So I'm sure that if we continue to just work on it and have the discipline to keep working on it and try to make it better so that people can and enjoy it more, I'm sure like 5 years down the line, we're gonna look back and be like, man, look, that was us. And in the same sense, I want to make sure that when I look at myself 5 years from now, I'm much different. I know I will be different.
Yeah.
I just hope that it's better, that I'm better than I am today. So I don't know. I mean, we want to sit here and talk about change and everything, but I feel like change is always happening. It's how you react to the change that counts. I think how we adapt to the situation, like COVID, right? Everybody had to adapt. Nobody had a choice. Like even the places that stayed open, now they have extra work that they needed to do. They need to sanitize more. They need to make sure that they have the screens, the protectors. Everybody has to wear a mask. Like, we all have to adapt. And in the same way, if you want to be that IG fitness model that you keep seeing every day, you need to change your life. You need to change your lifestyle. Like, you can't. I'm telling you, I've been this person, dude. Sometimes I'm like looking. I'm like, while I'm eating or something, I'm like, shit. I'm like, damn. I'm like, oh, maybe one day, and like I'm stuffing my face with chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
That's the wishful thinking. I think that we're all prone to that.
It's like on the way here, I was listening to the radio, and one of the girls was like, remember when you used to walk to your car and then go, oh no, I forgot my mask in the house and have to run back? I don't remember those days anymore. As in, she doesn't remember having to remember her mask. Like, I don't have to remember my wallet. I don't have to remember my car keys.
Oh, it's become part of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that you don't have to think about anymore, and it just is what it is.
You know what, dude? I have not accepted that truth yet. Sometimes, dude, I was having lunch the other day. Keep your thought there. I was having lunch the other day, and I got a call, and I got up because I was eating. I got a call, and I got up, and I just walked around the restaurant. I'm like, oh shit, dude, I have to put on my mask. And dude, it still happens to me. I have not accepted the truth.
I've done less than I think majority of people since this started.
Yeah, but you got COVID. So you already have it.
Can't confirm.
You already had it, so you're immune to it now.
But yeah, it's, I don't know. It's still just not a natural state at all.
And you know what? I know we're going to need to do it. I know we're going to need masks in the future, like flu season. I think that's a good idea. If you have the flu and there's no way that you can stay home and you still have to go out, wear a mask. Don't be an asshole, right? It's the flu. Like, you don't send your kid to school with the flu. Keep him at home. He's sick. What's the point?
Well, I mean, with school, I would go to school sick, because if you didn't go to school and it was the day that there was a test or something, you get in trouble or stuff like that. Like,
Yes,
like you don't go. You have to have 2 days worth of homework the next day. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, we come from that. We come from that. But at the same time, knowing now what we know now, I think it would be easier to say, hey, we have, my kid has the flu. He has got the flu. Maybe a couple days, 3 days till he gets over it. And it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, well, now your kid has the flu. He comes in contact with the whole class and everybody's sick. And I know the herd immunity will eventually work itself out. But why put ourselves in that predicament? Like, why we should learn from this whole thing so that next time around we already prepared. Like, I'm sure that if we wore masks or we were doing like, the social distancing, so to speak, if you were sick, maybe COVID wouldn't have been as bad. It would have lost its tracks early on.
I think, though, at the same time, it comes down to what you want to do, because it's just that the leading cause of death is heart disease. And how do you get heart disease? A lot of the time, you eat like crap.
You eat like shit.
But
we
don't take
exercise.
the precautions against any of that.
I know, and that's
one of the things where it's just like you gotta.
But see, this is the perfect time to learn about that and to realize what's happening.
That's my point, though. It's you have to take it onto your
yes.
You have to take it to your own
yes
level of what you want to do. There's people who only eat food that I would never eat.
Yeah, I know.
Like kale and salmon and like.
I'm sure. Okay, speak of which, I'm sure that if you ate enough of it, eventually you would learn to you would learn to like it.
No.
I
think there's things that I can use that I may not exactly like spinach. I could use chopped up spinach and throw it into a dish, and it doesn't make the dish nasty. But I don't want to go through all the trouble of having spinach in my fridge every 3 days because it wilts and gets super gross.
Then get broccoli.
I can't do broccoli. I can't chop up broccoli and throw it in a dish the same way as I could spinach.
My point is, in the same way that people have to take it upon themselves, I challenge you. Okay, maybe it's a carrot. I don't know. Maybe it's you start with carrots, then you move on to a squash, and then you move on to like a broccoli. The point is that your body will adapt. Your taste buds will adapt because they don't have a choice. If you come in and say, well, I'm never going to be fit because that's just not in my genes, that's bullshit. Maybe it'll take you longer. Maybe it'll take you longer because of your genes, but eventually your body will have to adapt no matter what. That's what I learned.
Yeah, and I don't want anyone to think that you're saying necessarily skinny and abs popping out, because that's not what I'm saying. That's not healthy. All that fitness is.
I'm saying healthy
is just being able to walk without breathing heavy, unless obviously you have some kind of breathing issue.
Reducing disease.
Yeah,
being healthier. Whether it's just going for walks. If you don't go for walks, maybe go for walks. If you sit on a chair like me, maybe stand up more. Like, maybe that's what I'm going to start doing. Like, just getting up or stretching between every hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Something. Just the goal is to be healthier so that we live longer and so that we can just feel better, man. Because I don't know. I feel like a lot of the negative comments on social media are from people who can't do what the person's doing.
Yeah.
Like, I always see people hating on who was this guy? Oh, Kai Green. Kai Green got a lot of hate.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people made fun of him for a lot of things. Remember that?
Yeah.
But you're only saying that because you can't work out every day like that guy does. You don't look like him, And I know some would say that's a bit too much, but maybe you could be half of that and you'd feel a lot better and you wouldn't have to have the need to say negative things about him, you know? So I challenge you, Greg, to, for the next, okay, if you want, I don't know, I'll give you 30 days to think about it. January 1st to January 31st, I want you to post all the veggies that you're eating on our social media page as a story so that people can follow. I know it's going to be tough for you. Okay. And you can give me a challenge. I don't know, 50 push-ups. I don't care. I think that, if we're going to be talking about this shit, we have to walk the talk.
Like we talk it.
We have to do what we say, because otherwise it's like, why are people going to be listening to this podcast?
Yeah.
We need to bring that. I know we talk about a lot of stuff like that, but I truly feel that this is the only way to, a lot of people will say the only way to make the world a better place is to make yourself better. Like before you go out and try to change the world, clean your room. It's the same concept. And so I challenge you, January 1st, January 31st, I challenge you to eat as much veggies as you possibly can. Whatever that is. But they must have fiber. Like, you can't just do celery juice. Like, get out of here. Green fiber rich vegetables.
Good.
So, yeah, man. Like, other than that, like, I don't know. I know we're doing this this podcast in this manner. It almost seems like it's like a New Year's thing, But that's why
Worth it.
But that's, yeah, it is.
You got a plan now for then?
Yeah, and that's just what's been on my mind, dude. Is there anything else that you think I might have missed? Anything else that you wanted to bring to the conversation today?
No, we're looking good. It was a good conversation. No, maybe we should get a new graphic tee of a broccoli with my face on it, saying it's the same concept.
I'm gonna make a note of that. I'm pretty sure I'll say that, dude.
But yeah, check out the store, Teespring. It's in the description. I have some merchandise in there.
Yeah, why don't you plug in all the things?
Yeah, so check us out on Instagram at TPP is loading. And on there, we should be starting to post consistently through the week. And then on Thursdays, our posts will be about us going live, and usually ties back. Whatever we post will tie back into whatever we're going to be talking about. And you can hear us on all the platforms. Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, ones that I don't even know the name
Deezer.
We'll throw it out to everything.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody outside of the States who have been tuning in. We see you guys. Thank you guys. If you guys have any comments, I mean, this is our, we're broadcasting live from Orange County, but if you guys are listening from across the world, reach out. Come on to the YouTube channel, leave comments, or go on to our social media. And we hope to engage with you guys.
Yeah, I think it would be actually interesting if we can get people from outside of the United States to give us subjects for our rabbit hole. Because there's a lot of times where we hear something about another country, and we hear it differently than they are experiencing it because of social medias and news platforms. Everyone's telling different stories that people who aren't connected with the everyday life of that area don't really get the full scoop of it.
Yeah, it's like LA, dude. Everybody from outside of the US are like, oh, Hollywood. I want to go to Hollywood, because they see TV, they watch movies, and they see these TV shows.
Yeah.
Come to Hollywood. You'll see what it's really about.
Yeah, it's garbage. I don't, it's not the same. Even like the beach, like you don't see these fine ladies like all the time at the beach.
Not a Venice, but go to Huntington Beach. Maybe it's a little different.
If you're on the beach, Nah, you ain't seeing 10 out of 10s just strolling down the beach in thongs and freaking skinny straps. Like, you ain't seeing that. If you see like 10 out of 10s, they're on the boardwalk, like
you see,
like up the street, not on the beach.
Greg's right. You don't see that. You see Greg in a freaking yellow banana hammock.
Very nice.
Well, anyway, come join us, guys, on our platforms. Just we try to just try to spread some positivity here throughout this whole pandemic stuff. And so I'm going to repeat the same quote from Tupac Shakur from earlier on, because I think it hits the mark right, or it hits the nail right on the mark.
Let's do it.
It nails it. So it goes like this. We got to make a change. It's time for us as people to start making some changes. Let's change the way we eat. Let's change the way we live. And let's change the way we treat each other. You see, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we got to do to survive. And with that, thank you everybody for joining us today. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. See you guys next week.
See you guys later.